Let us understand the difference between mutable and immutable in Python. What are mutable objects and what are immutable objects? Basically, if we wanted to say the definition of mutable and immutable in Python, objects can be classified as either mutable or immutable based on whether their state can be changed after they are created. To understand it in a simple way, let me just share my screen. In Python, object can be either mutable or immutable. Now, let us see the difference. In simple terms, right, to understand it, once the object is created and the state of that object can be changed, that is called mutable. If the state of the object cannot be changed, then that is immutable. What is the state? In simple terms, let us understand, at any time when we create a variable, let's say I'm creating this integer, this will get stored somewhere in memory. So this will have the ID. We can use the Python built-in function to get the ID of the object. Now AB is an object. I'm trying to print this. Now let us see. Here we can see this is the ID of this object. Okay. So if we make changes to this object, what is the object here? The object is AB. If we make the changes to AB and the ID is not changing, then that is mutable, which means we are making changes to the object in the same place, right? The ID is not changing. As long as the ID is not getting changed and we are able to make changes to that object, that is called mutable object. But in case the moment when we make changes to the object and the ID is getting modified, then that is immutable. The state of that object cannot be modified. I hope you guys are able to understand, right? If ID is not changing after making changes to the object, that is called mutable. If ID is getting changed after making changes to the object, that is called immutable. Let us talk about mutable objects first. To talk about mutable objects, we have list, dictionaries, set. These are the mutable objects available in Python. Let's see. I have created a list. Now I wanted to print the ID of the list. Let's say I will append the value. This is the list after making changes. AB and the ID is okay. Now let's execute this. I will just make the statement similar to this. In this case as well. This is before making the changes. Okay. Now what we are doing? We have a list and we are printing the list and ID before making the changes to the list, and then we are making changes to the list and then again we are printing the ID and the list. Okay, let me execute this. Here is the output. If we see, the list is before making the changes to the list has 3 items in it and the ID is this. Now we have added 1 item to the list, so now the list has 4 items. Still the ID is not changed, right? So it tells that we can make the changes to the list in the same place, in the same ID will never be changed. So this is called mutable because we are able to make the changes to the list and then the ID of the list is not getting changed, which means the state of that object is not getting changed. That is why it is called mutable object. Let's see immutable objects. Here I am creating a string. After creating a string, we will print the object and then the ID. This is the object and then this is the ID of the object. Now we will make changes to that string. Let's say I wanted to append to it world. Now we will execute the same thing. Let me execute the code. So what we are doing here, we have created a string called AB and then we are printing the object and the ID of that object. Then we are making changes to that object. Then again we are printing the object and the ID of the object. If we execute this time we will see the object is hello, the ID is this, and then after making changes the object is modified. At the same time the memory location is also modified, which means whatever changes that we are making, they are not getting modified in the same location. In this location, this object is still intact, but what happened? It made changes to the object and kept that object in another location. Okay, so this is why it is called immutable, which means we can't make the changes to the object once it is created. I hope you all are clear with this. Please comment below if you guys have any questions. I will answer them. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Thank you.